everyone, and welcome to SP Career Starter Series. My name is Shafika, and I will be your MC for today. As part of getting you ready for the workforce, we have organized this series of 4 webinars for you to attend. Do stay till the end of the webinar and complete a short feedback form to stand a chance to win vouchers from us. We will also be live streaming this webinar on SPAN's Facebook, so do share this around. Before we begin, here's a few words from Industry and Partnerships Director, To Sekun.
Welcome to SP Career Starter Series. I'm Sekun, Director from Singapore Polytechnic Department of Industry and Partnerships. My role in SP includes taking care of you, our graduates. At SP, we have prepared you to be life ready, world ready, and work ready. Beyond graduations, SP continues to journey with you, and many of you here would have just graduated within the last 5 years. And some of you are still figuring out your next steps, be it to further your educations or to start working. I can understand this is not so straightforward these days, as there are so many options and pathways available. For those of you who have secured a place for your further educations, congratulations to you. And for those of you who have yet to and unsure of your future, I want to encourage you to join the workforce first. Joining the workforce early allows you to be exposed to the industry and find out what fits you before you continue to advance your educations in the industry that best fits your aspirations and interests. For those considering working and studying at the same time, we will share with you on these options that are available. We hope to help you leverage on the possibilities for your benefit. With this, SP has put together 4 short webinars to help you find certainty in your journey ahead. It is important for you to go through some or all of the 4 webinars, as each contains important tips that will allow you to know yourself better, prepare you mentally for the workforce, guide you in your job search, and boost up your chances in securing your first job. If you have any questions, this is the best time to get them addressed by our team here today. So, I wish you a very fruitful time at this webinar. Thank you.
Let's kickstart this webinar by inviting Ms. June Lee, Manager at School of Business, to share a bit about growth mindset on HR, consultancy, and projects. Ms. June Lee, please.
Hi, everyone. All right. So thank you for having me. Very happy to see all of you here. And with that, I will share screen. All right. So I shall start. I'm quite sure you can see my screen. So once again, a very good evening. I hope you had a little bite. And thank you so much, for joining us. So today, my colleague and I, Daryl, we're going to share with you all about growth mindset. Something that I'm sure you've... Sorry. Okay, so something that I'm sure you've heard of in school and all, but today we're going to share with you a little bit more personal, something as lecturers we've been through, and then we want to just to share with you that even lecturer, we need to have growth mindset. So I'm going to share with you on some of the things that you've seen on the screen now. It's first, better to have stallions than donkeys. What are the lectures in the past and now? And let's be honest, and finally, the growth mindset. So you might be thinking, Miss June, what are you talking about? What do you mean is better to have stallions? So quoted by Dr. Goh Keng Swee, who used to be a Singapore politician, and he was a deputy prime minister during his political times. He mentioned that, it is better to have stallions, which will occasionally have to pull back, than to have donkeys that you have to kick to move. This struck me very much when I was reading a book by one of the Singapore politicians as well, because I then asked myself this question: am I the stallion or am I the donkey? Why so? Working takes up almost half of any adult life, and I like to think that most of the time, I would like to enjoy my career, tenure with whichever company that I'm with, rather than I become a liability. So when I read that, I ask myself the question, am I the stallion? So meaning to say that, am I charging, when I'm building up my career? And I think the answer is yes. I remembered myself as a very tenacious young lady. Okay, I'm still young, but I was younger. Okay, so I was tenacious, but it didn't mean that I stay in a job forever. I think all of us would have known that somebody who stayed in a career for 20, 30 years are really a thing of the past. So if I look back, it's I had a career change every 4 years. And the reason is because it's growth. I felt that at certain point in my life, I have learned and I want to go out and see more and learn more from other organizations. So I am the stallion then. So definitely not the donkey. But then again, if you said, okay, Miss June, so what if I am, the donkey? Nothing wrong with that. But it's just that maybe while you see the rest of your friends, your colleagues, when they're charging, you might just feel a little bit left out. So then what can you do? You can do certain things like which I'm going to share with you. So coming back to this, a lot of people then would ask, okay, so that was your corporate life. And then as a lecturer, what kind of growth mindset do you have? When I chose to hang out, my corporate suit and then join the Singapore Poly, when we were first interviewed, we were being told that, okay, so you're going to conduct the tutorials, you're going to do your lectures, and then of course, administration, it's a huge part of it. And I thought, okay, that's pretty cool. I want to try that because it's something that I enjoy because I'm always the HR in the learning and development part. And then I thought I want to change the target audience instead of full adults. Let's do the future generations, right? These are the future of us. That was then when I was hired 7 years ago. But now lecturers were doing all these things that you're looking at in front. Yes, that's right. I'm not going to go through all, but you know that things have shifted, things have changed, and it is exponentially different. If we or me, I don't have a growth mindset, I really don't think I can be here because it's a shift in the whole, being that you get so uncomfortable. You ask yourself, I'm not hired for this. Why is the school expecting me to do all this? So of course, as lecturers, you have a choice. You're either in or you're out. And you see me still here today. Well, obviously, I chose to be the stallion. I chose to try and I chose to still be in. And let's be honest, how do we feel? How do we manage? First thing, I keep the end goal in mind. I want to be in. I bought the idea that the senior management tell us that lecturers have to pivot. We have to change in order to be to make sure that our students are always industry ready. And I bought that idea because I know that after we left the corporate, even 1 year, you lose touch a little bit. Yes, I'm still in touch with my friends. I still go out with them. They still tell me, but not being in that rat race kind of make you feel a little bit rusty. And true enough, after 2, 3 years, what you know back then may not be as current. So the purpose and the whole vision that we should still be industry ready by doing industry projects, by doing industry engagement resonates with me. So I keep the end goal in mind that I wish to still be relevant to my students. I still want to be useful in my work. So the end goal is I'm in. Number two, it gets uncomfortable because we're put out of our comfort zone. We're asked to go out and meet industry, meet people. There will be colleagues, even sometimes myself, that we vent. Sure, we do vent, and I support that because it's healthy, right? Self-care. But if someone gets to the point of venting so much that when you come to work, now you just have to ask yourself, the moment you see your colleagues, or friends, you start to vent, you start to be negative, you start not to enjoy your work, then this is where you need to be honest and ask yourself, do you still believe in the end goal of your organization? Because if you don't, then it means there are no more passion left in you. You do not have that growth mindset anymore within this organization. So these are some of the very real things that happen even to lecturers like ourselves. So for me, I always, well, I try to, not always. There are times, but I really try to surround myself with very like-minded colleagues. And one of my mantra still now is that if I do not see the vision, and I don't grow anymore in any organization, then I know that this time that I have to move to somewhere else so that I can keep growing and keep learning. Yeah, so that's something I want to share. Then, of course, the next thing is you allow yourself to be vulnerable. And what do I mean by that? Change is something that we don't like. Change is something that you put yourself out of the routine, just feel uneasy. So because of that, there was a lot of fear in you that you ask yourself, you're beginning to self-doubt. Like, can I make it? My manager or my boss asked me to do this, asked me to lead this, asked me to innovate. Okay, I take it up, but I don't feel comfortable. So what do? Do I vent? Or do I allow myself to acknowledge that, yeah, I don't feel comfortable? And why don't I feel comfortable? So the moment you know why, actually, it's growth. Because once you know why, you should do something about it. And when you do something about it, it's growth because you are doing something different. You're doing something to build yourself. You're doing something to learn. So that action in itself by being vulnerable is great because a lot of people might tell you differently. You cannot be vulnerable because if you're vulnerable, you look weak, you appear weak, and you won't achieve anything. But I always think otherwise. You should allow yourself to be vulnerable. Know where is the vacuum, and you just fill up the vacuum, and that's growth. So don't stay in the negative space for too long. There will always be, kick yourself out of it and grow. Just allow yourself to grow. And fourthly, I enjoy that is celebrate small wins. I am very blessed to have great colleagues and friends around me. We just celebrate small little things. Like for example, if somebody just do a project, we're like, yay, let's go for kopi, somebody learn a new skill, we're like, yay, let's have some cakes in Starbucks, in SP there's Starbucks, right? So these are really very simple stuff, like have a frappuccino, but it picks us up. It makes us feel fun. It makes us feel like, hey, small little things, but it is fun. And we're doing together. I have my friends with me. It is a journey together. So it is all those things that make growth, having that drive to want to grow and to learn palatable, that you add on to the journey of your career. So this is how as a lecturer we manage so far, because it is really not easy to bring ourselves out of the classroom. Now if you think about it, classroom is really like a box. It is so comfortable, so safe, and the only other person we see almost most of the time we're in school are the students, and students being students, they're respectful. So after a while, you're just used to that safe feeling. But when you go out to the industry, you are vulnerable. The industry will challenge you. They will tell you things straight in your face, and you don't like it. And because you don't like it, you resist. But again, if you think back, if you resist and you allow yourself to resist for a very long time, you're not growing. And when you're not growing in your job, it's very, very sad because you have to do it every day. So might as well enjoy it, right? Okay. So these are some of the things that, when you have growth mindset, something that again, every time I want to sum it up, even for students, I will say the same thing. And even for my kids, I have three kids, 3 boys. So I always tell them, don't do it for anybody else, do it for yourself. Because if you do it for somebody else, you will find that maybe you'll find that it's very draggy. But if you do it for yourself, you are in control and you have your own self-awareness, you will feel that there is purpose. It's more fulfilling. So not for anybody else, but it's a journey for yourself. When you have your growth mindset, it is your own learning. So it is really just you. Look for a mentor is my another advice. It can be official, it can be unofficial. So allow me to share with you. So in my career growth, especially as a lecturer, I look for unofficial mentor. How do I do that? I mean, I go to different meetings, some with senior management, some with peers and all. Mentors can come in different shape and form. They don't have to be just by designation, by seniority. Anybody whom I feel is credible and that when they say something, I'm like, wow, that makes sense. Wow, this person, have that tenacity. This person have that positivity. This person very innovative. This person is brainy. It is, to me, a mentor. So that makes work so much more fun. So what am I saying is that it can be an unofficial mentor. So you decide how you want to grow, isn't it? But I also have official mentor, of course, people who are the veterans of the industry. What do I do? Now that I'm in the education industry, I knock on doors. I just have lunches with them. When I have lunch with them, I see corporate world through their eyes again. Yeah, but and I hear from them. What are some of the changes? These are the little things I do for myself. But I also know that it will be great if you can ask somebody who can be your official mentor. And to be honest, I really have an official mentor just very, very recently that I asked. Actually, it was my senior director. So, and then, they said, would you like to try this? I said, yeah, sure. I would love to be in an official mentorship program. So I really went on something that is really official and it's very refreshing. I can see myself growing. I can see myself asking questions in the areas that I really want to have answers on. But, in a day-to-day, sometimes it's very difficult for me to ask questions. So yeah, a mentor, official mentor really helps. Yeah. So that's that. The next one is self-reflection every day. I do daily self-reflection. I make sure I would think, what did I do today? How can I do it better? How can I do it differently? It is not so much on, for example, chiding myself for not doing certain things. It is really thinking pockets of, ways that, if I were to do this again, how would I do it differently? If I were to say this again, how would I say it differently? And even thinking into small details like, okay, in this meeting, how did this person react? Why so? How did that person react? Why so? And how can I react differently? So all these things make me grow as a person, grow my empathy. So to me, it is also growth, but differently by doing reflection. Okay, so you can try that. It's something that works for me. And next is read. You know, uh, you know, we have vacations, right? From semester vacation to term vacation. So it is about, nourishing your brain, not just, reading news, reading papers. It is really about reading something that, for example, if you're in a leadership role now, you read something on leadership, right? If, for example, you are doing project management, you want something that has a bit of framework, a bit of structure, a bit of definition, then read on books on project management. So I feel reading always stretches your brain cells, allow you to think and reflect on ways that you never thought about. So reading is always good. Yeah. Okay, this one I personally like it very much. Talk to Chomster. I think it can resonate with all of you. It's like, Chomster, huh? What do you mean? Meaning people who are actually brainy, they forge the head with different thoughts, sometimes out of the world. They have a lot of ideas. They're really smart people. And I want to introduce you to the really smart people, who is my colleague who's going to share with you later. His name is Daryl Au. I call him the Chomster, okay, because he really have a lot of ideas. And because he have a lot of ideas, the senior management allow him to try, allow him to venture. And I respect that. And I really admire it. I mean, you would think that one day is 24 hours. It's not a lot, right? But he makes sure he stretched that 24 hours. It's as if one day that's 48 hours. I think he's laughing now, but these are really the people you should talk to. Sometimes you may not agree. I know it sounds funny coming from me, like, oh, okay, so I should find brainy people to talk to. You don't necessarily have to agree. You just have to agree to disagree. Why? Because when you talk to, well, in my opinion, brainy people, again, they stretch your mind. They really allow you to see things very differently, sometimes unorthodox, but it is again through unorthodox way that you find new pathways, right? So I encourage that also for growth mindset. And lastly, watch inspirational show. Okay. And what do I mean by inspirational show? I don't mean TED Talk. I know the whole world watch TED Talk, but I have this well, I like to watch something that the underdogs. So this is what I watch. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. There you go. Who would have thought Miss June would watch Mark Lee? Every time I tell my students, oh, I watch this celebrity talking, they all give me the look like, you watch such things, Miss June? I say, yeah. Why? I mean, it's entertaining, it's inspiring. And this is really just very recently. It just popped up on my YouTube feed, and I thought, oh, Mark Lee, interesting. What's it about? So I watched it. It is in Mandarin, by the way, but I think there's an English subtitle, and it's inspiring. Why? Because he would say that how he grew, to speak proper Mandarin is that he would read newspaper, he would buy newspaper, and every day he would just read it out loud to himself, like every day. So he said after a while, it really just is him. So I thought, hey, that was pretty brilliant, if somebody who is a abeng his entire life can adopt this growth mindset, why can't I? So I'm just inspired by very small things like this, and it just makes learning more fun. I'm a stickler for learning from people all over. It doesn't mean it has to be the who and the who of the world. When I think I want to learn something, I really pick up the nuances from everywhere and anywhere. So yeah, just sharing with you something just very different. And so lastly, before I hand this time over to Daryl, who's the chunkster and the brainy guy, I just want to encourage you that adopting a growth mindset, it's something that if it is in your DNA, it will become your story. You will write a chapter after chapter after chapter with a pen or a colored pen. It's up to you, but it is yours and it's yours to tell. So if you're going to live your life, regardless of how, where, it should be your own story, and it should be filled with different things, from struggles to tears to victories. It doesn't matter, but it is yours. So that's it from me, and I wish you all the best in your growth journey, wherever you are. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Miss June, for that wonderful sharing. I'm sure everyone has benefited from it. Next, let's invite Mr. Daryl Au, Lead of Strategic Partnerships from School of Business, to share a bit more about a growth mindset that helped to establish RPA within accounting sector. Mr. Daryl, please.
Hi everyone. Yep, I hope you can see my screen. Yeah, thank you, June, for the very nice introduction. I was indeed laughing at what she was saying. Yeah, so today I'd just like to share how, as a lecturer, we actually had a very different growth mindset that really help us to expand beyond what a traditional accountant can do, and we establish SP as a dominant and monopoly RPA in the accountancy sector. Okay, so let me just take you through this journey that our faculty has embarked on. Okay, so here we have the slides on there's this movie called The Age of Ultron. So I think most of y'all would have watched this movie before by Marvel. Yeah, so actually this movie is actually very real to me. Cause okay, so if you haven't watched the show yet, the show is about a group of superheroes who come together to fight this robot called Ultron. And Ultron actually wanted to destroy the whole world. Yeah, so the show of course ends very nicely with the heroes defeating the robot. Okay, yeah, so this movie is actually very real to me as a accounting lecturer because BBC has reported that chartered accountants has a 95% chance of being replaced by robots. So as a accountancy lecturer, this is very ominous for me because what the things that I'm teaching to my students, is it still relevant for them tomorrow when they graduate? Are the skills that I have going to be relevant for the future? So this is a very real threat to my career also, and also to our whole profession. So spoiler alert, yeah, so in this whole journey, our students actually win. Yeah, but so let me just take you through the history to rewind back to our humble beginnings, how we actually had this growth mindset to change. Okay, so how as in every movie, the movie always starts off with the first act where the heroes always go through the challenges and the pains. Yeah, so myself, I used to be an auditor in the audit firm, and when I joined SP, I teach the accountancy students. So traditionally, accountancy students do not do any final year projects. A lot of it is just really based on theory, or really just based on examples in the textbooks, and they apply what they learned. But there was a change a couple of years back where the management decided that all the final year students had to do a industry project with a real industry partner. And then this is a problem for me because I have 11 accountancy classes, and it is very hard to find 11 industry partners who are willing to do the projects for our students. Furthermore, management also said that these projects have to be paid. And if you think about it, the outside accountant has more technical knowledge than my students. They don't need my students to do any real work except maybe data entry or manual labor. So the type of projects that we found were things like doing stock take, where I could get my students to run around because they have a lot of hands and legs to actually count the inventory or to look at fixed assets and stuff. So the projects that we had were very manual. So when they start to be paid, the industry partners want a tangible solution. They don't want just an idea or some recommendation that the students come up with. They expect a working solution. So this is another challenge for me. So from this exercise, we realized that, hey, our students do not have enough skills. The more scary thing is that our lecturers also do not have the sufficient skills to really do a proper industry project for the industry. Yeah, so we realized that, hey, we really need to change what we are learning, what teaching to our students. We have to find something new. Furthermore, we're not the only school that needs to do final year projects. There are also other institutes of higher learning, especially the universities, who are also searching for industry projects for their students. Furthermore, the universities do not even charge for their projects, whereas in SP we still have to charge for projects. On hindsight now, the rationale for charging is because when industry partners pay, for example, 3,000, they have some skin in the game. So they really will give you a good solution, a good problem for the students to work on. So there is still some rationale to charging for projects to be charged. But at this early stage, it is a lot of pressure really on the lecturers to find such projects for the students. So it is time to act. It is time to really take some action to change. So if we cannot find the heroes, you got to really make our own heroes. So what we did is we managed to gather a team of our accounting lecturers, Miss Siu Ming, Miss Jermaine, Miss Xiaohui, Miss Ronnie. And so we had to discuss, okay, so what is something that we have in common? And we realized that, hey, actually a lot of the accountancy lecturers started our career in audit. That is something that we all have gone through. We can empathize with the industry. So from there, we decided to really identify what are the gaps in the audit industry. So when we talk to our industry partners, because a lot of us as accountants, we are very conservative. We just look at the books, we look at the numbers. We are not salesmen. We are not people that really go out and talk to people and then bring in sales. So it is really a very different mindset that we have to put on, that now we have to meet the industry. We have to try to sell them an idea that we can do projects and stuff. And so there's really a lot of mindset change. So when we talk to industry, we realize, hey, there are still a lot of manual and repetitive processes in the audit industry. So even though I'm not very young now already, but many years ago when I was still in audit, and now the processes are still the same. Yeah, there are a lot of items, a lot of the work are still done traditionally in Microsoft Word and Excel. And even though there is adoption of technology in the industry, there is a slow adoption because the technology is expensive and there is a lot of resistance to change. So we decided these are the gaps. The advantage that our SP students have is that they grow up in a very digital savvy world. Therefore, we have to learn some digital skills. So we did an analysis of the different skills that our students needed, and we decided to learn robotic process automation. So this is something that even the universities do not even teach, but it's really a digital skill that non-programmers, non-IT people can easily pick up, and you can actually tell the robot to automate certain processes for you. So we really did this passive exercise to learn RPA well. We also tried to learn some of the existing auditing tech in the industry, such as caseware working papers. Now, so when you look at the audit firm, we realize that from the start of the audit, when you accept the audit clients, all the way to the audit planning, when you perform the audit procedures, to the XBRL, to the financial statements, to the tax filing, and submitting of even the HR processes such as timesheet, there are a lot of pain points, and there are a lot of areas where automation can really come in to reduce these manual and repetitive tasks. So what we did is really step one in our growth journey is to learn some digital skills, really to try something very different. The next step was to go and find an industry partner. And this really forced our lecturers to really start to hone our business development skills, which is something that we traditionally do not do even in the industry as an auditor. Yeah, and then lastly, we also had to learn DT, which is design thinking, to really use this model to really identify processes, identify the needs and pain points of the industry partners, develop a prototype, and implement a working solution. So if you want to learn RPA, here is a link that you can actually sign up for our SP RPA class. So this is our FYP strategy. Of course, along the way, we have to go and get help from other superheroes in our school. So we also try to align to the CDIO framework, which also helps us along with our design thinking journey. We also have to learn how can we create better teams so that each group can create a solution that is successful and works properly. We also need to find a way so that we can ensure that all students are contributing fairly. So it's not just the good students who are contributing, but even the weaker students also have an area for them to contribute to the project. Okay, so here is how we have revamped our whole final year projects with technology and CDIO. So in a typical project, the lecturer now has to go in and do the CD. So CD is the conceive and the design stage of the CDIO framework. So actually, even before the students start the projects, the lecturers have to go out half a year in advance to go and find the industry partners. We have to go and go through their processes in detail, like step by step, where does this number go from here to here, look at the various different Excel files, the different Word documents, the different accounting systems, and from there we can identify where are all the different pain points. So from the scoping, the lecturers actually are able to tell the industry partner that, hey, these are your 5 biggest pain points. We know how to automate these processes to make it more efficient for you. And therefore, this is how the rough solution will be like. So after that, when we will bring the projects back to school, and then we will start to prepare for the projects. So we train our students with RPA, and then we also get the industry partners to record the processes in videos, and also to provide the documents and brief our students properly for the project. So all of these are done even before the project actually starts. So when the project starts, so when you start in semester 1 and semester 2, that's where the students come in to really understand the process. So the students have to really look at the documents, look at the process to see where are the pain points, where are the inefficiencies, where are the needs of the company. From there, they combine the digital skills such as RPA and the accounting technical knowledge to design a solution that works. So we typically design a robot that's able to automate the pain point for the industry partner. We also implement the robots. So after the mid-year, or rather the interim presentation, we will get the client's approval that we are on track. We have identified the correct pain points. Our solution is desirable, sustainable, and practical. And once the client has endorsed this, we actually build a working solution and we implement a solution for the industry partners. Then we also teach our industry partners how to use and troubleshoot the robots. And we do all of this within the whole semester. Okay, so with our new plan, it's really time to take some action and let's fight some battles. So the first project, our first battle was really very tough because no one in the industry can believe in us. No one knows really the power of RPA. No one really can trust us that we can do it well. So finding the first industry partner was very bad. I got rejected by so many industry partners. My success rate at chasing goals in university was so much better. Okay, so but yeah, finally I managed to convince an industry partner to really give us a chance. Yeah, so he let us look through his manual processes, and then I managed to find my fellow lecturer Ronnie, and together two of us we did our first project to implement caseware and RPA. So we managed to audit certain audit processes for them. Now the first project was really tough. Straight away we get our noses bloodied because there are a lot of things that when you go through the RPA training is training. When you do the real project, it's very different. Like, so when you want to fight somebody, you know how to punch a person, you know to put your fists together, your thumb needs to be bent, and then you can give a good punch. But it's very different when you go into the ring and someone punches you back. So when we do the real project, it was very tough. We actually had to, at night, I spent a lot of time every night actually watching some videos, actually how to fix the automation to make it work. I have 3 very thick manuals that I have to go through to know the caseware working papers itself, but we managed to work it out with the students. I think the fighting style that we have is that the students know that we are working just as hard as the students on this project together. And it's very important to encourage everyone, let's do this together, don't give up, let's be very creative, and we will get through this. So I'm very glad to share that, yes, we survived our first project, and from there we have gone on to do a lot more projects for the industry. So a lot of special thanks to Kak Yong and Kok Leong, some of our colleagues also, lecturers in school who have really guided us on this journey. So here's an example of one of the processes that we automated using RPA. So in a typical audit firm, they have to send this audit process called the AR confirmation process, which stands for the accounts receivable confirmation. This confirmation is used to verify that the debts that the company has, they exist. And so they have to send a letter. So this letter, there's a lot of copy and pasting of data into the letter. The typical auditor will take 256 hours a year just to perform the same process over and over again. The same process is repeated 1,920 times in a typical audit firm. So here's the automation of the robot in action. Now the auditor just needs to press start, don't blink. Sorry, got a typo mistake. Yeah, but after that, all the confirmations are already created for you. So you can see literally in seconds, the work is already done. Okay, so this is just an example, one of the examples of the many different robots that we have built for the industry. So here are some of the battle statistics that we have. We have our 5 lecturers. We have trained over 750 accountancy students over the different years. We have built over 60 different types of robots that we can scale up in the industry. We have brought in more than 570,000 in revenue for SP through our various different projects. I think what's very interesting is that we actually have helped a lot of audit and accounting firms in the industry, and our impact is 15% of the whole industry, that we have really helped them to embrace automation and to use RPA to be more effective in their work. Here's some of our 60 plus different robots. Here are some of our top 10 robots. They are highly sought after in the industry. We have a lot of processes. As you can see, they have a lot of productivity gain where the auditors and accountants can save a lot of time with our solutions. Very importantly is that a lot of these solutions are scalable in the industry. So that means I can copy and paste the same solution across different audit and accounting firms. So here's an article. Sorry, this is a Channel News Asia video, and we are part of the Singapore's digitalization journey for the accountancy sector.
Singapore's accountancy sector is getting help to digitalize with a new plan for the entire industry launched today. It will help small and medium-sized practices, or SMPs, adopt technology to improve their productivity and competitiveness. SMPs make up 90% of the industry. What is the plan, though? It comprises a digital roadmap to guide SMPs on the solutions to adopt and training for employees at each stage of their development. The government hopes the plan can help companies overcome key roadblocks in adopting technology. Those have been identified as perceived high initial costs, lack of integration between technology and work processes, and lack of skills to use technology effectively.
By overcoming these roadblocks, SMPs can be in the driver's seat of change, harnessing technologies to push boundaries and to capture opportunities. The accountancy IDP has three aspects. First, allowing SMPs to use digital solutions to streamline work processes. Second, facilitating interconnectedness between digital solutions, which differentiates SMPs in terms of their service offerings and value add. And third, helping SMPs harness technology to innovate business models.
Okay, so you can see we first started with one audit firm, and then we went to attack more of the audit firms. And then now we actually are in the Singapore Accountancy Industry Digital Plan, where we are given a mandate also to really help the whole sector to automate and to digitalize in their operations. Okay, so from there we actually have MOUs with organizations such as the Institute of Singapore Chartered Accountants, where now we are given the mandate also to teach RPA to auditors and accountants in the industry. We have also grown not just in SP, but also to work together with the other polytechnics. So we have a national collaboration with the Singapore Accountancy Commission, where they now start to fund all our projects. So in the past, we had to struggle to find people who are willing to take us. Now we have people who are willing to fund our projects. And so we are also here to really help the other polytechnics scale up in the RPA solutions to help the accountancy industry. And very importantly, as we do all of this, we must always care for the community and give back to the society. So we work together with ISCA Cares, where we give out some of our robots for free. And companies do not need to pay us. They will just donate money to ISCA Cares, where ISCA Cares will distribute and disperse the money to needy accountancy students in the whole of Singapore, not just accountancy students in SP, but accountancy students in other institutes of higher learning, in universities, in ITEs, and in other polytechnics too. We also start to do automation projects for the social service sector. So we actually have signed a MOU with the National Council on Social Services, where we are now going to get our students to really help to do automation projects for social service agencies such as charities, children's homes, so on and so forth. Okay, so when we look back at our students, we realize that our students have grown so much. When we compare, we did a research paper where we compare our students in the past and now with the digitalization projects that we have. We realize that our students are now more future ready. Our students have the digital skills. They are more confident that they are able to be very relevant in the future. There is a huge demand now for our accountancy students. There are better job prospects for them. Many new pathways have been opened in the world of IT. There are a lot more students going into universities, and our subscription rate, that means the companies that want to engage our students, this rate has gone up by 4 times. So one of the very proud moments that we have is that from all the different projects that we have done, our students actually took part in the ISCA RPA hackathon. So the hackathon is not a polytechnic competition. It is not a university competition. It is an industry competition where people from all over the industry, professional RPA developers and accountants, they can also take part in this competition. And I'm very proud to say that of the top 5 finalists, 3 of our student teams made it into the top 5. Yeah, so one of them emerged as 3rd place, but of course the winner is myself. I emerged as the champion. Yeah, okay, but this really shows that our student solutions is not just something that is for fun, but it's something that is really desirable, something that even the industry endorses, and they recognize that the work and the quality that they produce is there. Yeah. So when we look at the auditors also in the industry, where the industry partners that we meet, in the past, there is this fear that the robots are going to replace them. In the past, auditors have to work very long hours, but now with our RPA projects, they can really leverage on robots to increase productivity. This really allows them to focus on higher value tasks, to really have a better work-life balance. And actually, this also has a lot of job redesign because a lot of tasks can now be centralized. One person just needs to run the robot for the whole entire company. You don't need to have different people doing the same thing in the company. So there is a lot of areas for job redesign and process redesign also. When we look back at the lecturers, we can see how the five of us especially have grown so much. You won't recognize us 3-4 years ago. We are very different now. We are very industry relevant. We are more confident also when we talk to the industry. The skill sets that we have are very different also. We have grown to realize that you need to be a generalist. You need to have many different skill sets. You need to have good presentation skills. You need to learn all these things, and it's okay to make mistakes. Yeah, so make mistakes, learn from it, try and try and try, and one day you will really will make it and succeed. Yeah, so you can really see that the five of us have grown a lot, and this translates back to the students because when your lecturers are very confident and your lecturers are seen to be really leading the industry to do such projects that make a difference, the students have the confidence because the students know that this is something that there is a real tangible benefit they are working on at the end of the 3 years that they can make a difference. And also through the different projects that we have done, we have brought in other project leads and opportunities also beyond the accounting faculty. So a lot of our colleagues in operations, in banking and finance, HR, logistics, they also are able to bring in, we are able to share the other leads also with our colleagues too. And also, again, it's always giving back to the society, helping fellow educators. So actually, we ran an event to help secondary school teachers to automate the testimonial process. So actually, we invited many different of the secondary school teachers to come to SP, and then we helped them to implement this robot to make their lives much better. So this is more or less the end of our movie. But in every movie, I believe there's always a part two to be continued because there's always Avengers 2. So this is where I feel that we want to go bigger. There are a lot of opportunities to grow overseas. There are a lot of overseas audit firms that I feel that they can even benefit from our solutions. So now we have to change our mindset that it's not just Singapore, we need to go global. So yeah, so if you're an alumni now in the industry and you find the RPA something very interesting that's very easy to learn, yes, please, you can just drop your email. You can come and attend our classes. And then even in our classes, we teach you how to automate a lot of processes. We even give you plug and play solutions that you can actually help your company. All right, so I believe, guys, alumni, we can always partner together and we can also make a bigger difference together in the industry. Yep, so this is the end of my sharing. Yep, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Darrell, for the insightful sharing. Next up, let's invite Mr. Wales Ong, Senior Manager at SP Space, to give us insight regarding WSP and CET. Mr. Wales, please.
Thank you, MC. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to share my screen first. I think you can see it now. So good evening. I'm Wales Ong from SP Pace Academy, and then I will give you some idea about what we do here. So we are your partners for lifelong learning. Some of you are graduating soon, and then some of you are already our alumni. So I think PACE is not unfamiliar to you. If you have ever have a chance to go to food court 2, you will see T1A, then you can see the PACE Academy. So exactly what we do there is to provide you and partner with you on your lifelong learning, especially on continuing education and training. So RPA is one of them. That's now my colleague already promoted to you. So I think take a look at it. So if I could trouble you with something, this evening, I think you would like to spend time knowing a little bit more about yourself. I am very thankful that you spend this evening with us. And if I could trouble you to scan or go to Slido, scan this QR code and give me some response to see how can I help you today. It will help me to help you to identify some of the things that I can share later. So if you could look at the Slido here, you can go to slido.com or you can scan this QR code. And I think if you can help me out to give some of the response, it will be good. Okay, So you want to know more about your strength, you want to upskill. Some of you are looking for career transition already. I think among us, we have alumni. Okay, maybe I just give a little bit of time here. Largely, oh, looking for job, great. And you want to know about your strength. Okay, so I will change back. I roughly know what you would like to do. Let me get it back. Hang on. Okay, wait. Okay, screen is paused. Just a minute. Okay, I think I'm back to my screen. So I just want to start off with this. Is this quite scary? In the parliament, they discussed this. Should degree comes with an expiry date? You know exactly what are they talking about? I study so hard, I spend so much money, I spend so much time. All my dreams is, I go work very hard, get into universities and get a degree. And today in the parliament, they're talking about giving an expiry date to the degree. What is it about? Or maybe the next time they will say, hey, after your 3 years of diploma, I'm going to give an expiry date. So exactly what are they trying to say? And then we look at another slide. So what is it now happening in the world? I know in the news you will see Russia-Ukraine war happening every day. And then you will see that the generations complain about generations. Previous generations get better deal. Now our generation so hard, we cannot find job, HDB so expensive, cars expensive, cost of living higher. So you see, let us talk about career in current context. The business owner, right, they still don't hire, or they call us, like a generation that they don't hire. We cannot have hardship. And then you talk about progression. Some of us career, the cost of living continue to increase, but our career trajectory stagnant. And then the world also is shifting, right? And Singapore, we got no choice one. We are just a country when somebody up there, a big country sneeze, and we will just get it. When China and US have their trade wars, we'll be affected. Anything happen to this world, we will surely kena. And then what exactly am I talking about? Then you say, hey, where's I come to this evening here, just listening to you talking about news. But I want to bring some reality to it. So exactly I'm sharing with you why is it important for lifelong learning. And it's especially now today. In the past, I think maybe some of our parents lucky, they can get employed to a company and then they stay in the company and retire there happily. But today, I think if you ask Miss June, would a company want to keep somebody a longest time? Of course they do, but do they train you? I don't know. Do they invest in you and help you progress? I think some good company will. Most of the company want to, but can they afford to continue to pay you more? So these are really issues today. Today hiring trend, IT, everybody chiong because the pay is so high. One graduate $3,000, even from a diploma got 3,000 plus. But let me share with you in the past when I was a student in poly, everybody go to chemical because Jurong Island just started. And once upon a time when RWS was building, MBS was building, everybody go tourism or hospitality. So this is the kind of setting. Then we must ask ourselves, right, where are we? All right. Why is it important? Lifelong? We will discuss further. But let me set this in the context of our discussion for today. Can we just stay on with our diploma and we are successful for our life? Or can we go for a degree and that's it? We will be we'll be taken care of for our life. So maybe I just have this in your thoughts. So I guess to answer to all this, before I share with you what are the solutions, I do have some proposals for you later on. So perhaps this is what we think, or my practice as a career coach, of what I'm thinking for, as an encouragement to everybody here. So the first thing, of course, is what do you want? The world will change. The world will not stop changing, and precisely this is why we need to know what is happening around us, and how do we then contribute to this growth together. Then spend some time with yourself. In the earlier webinar, if you have some time, go back to Facebook, check out SPAN website. You will be able to hear from my colleagues who is a career advisor talking about value, interest, personality, and strength, where if you have gone through education and career guidance, you will have a little bit more information for that. So let me also emphasize this. This is renewable. No? The value will change. Your value don't really change a lot, but you will change when the environment change. Interest will change because what you like now in future maybe don't have already. Yeah. So if don't have already, then how? So this is where skills future coming in, because we have courses available for us to upgrade, reskill, or up profile ourselves. Then next, know what is happening to find out also which is the career option that we would like to go next, and evaluate our current position. So our best friend is Google. If without Google, then what do we do? Later on, I will share with you what next is available and free for you. So where do we find opportunity? If you look at this slide here, there are many, plenty of job portal. Which one is good, which one is bad? We don't have any really recommendation. As long as the site allow us to find a job, then it's excellent. And what we see here is most of us found a job through some network. That means somebody recommend us somewhere. This is actually even more important because employers, right? They may not want to spend a lot of time hire and fire. It's not going to be very good for their business. So they would like to try somebody, right? Somebody recommended and say, hey, feels like not bad, he can talk one, can do sales type, Then I say, oh, how is his attitude? Okay he's generally won't be late for work one, won't go and jadua, go and find, go and take a lot of MC type. So these are very good words that somebody have to put. And these are things that you cannot put inside CV, right? And therefore, more importantly, you should know people. I will not go a lot into the detail here because in the next webinar and so you may like to come back because some of my colleagues will be covering things that you can put forth in your resume, things that you can discuss in the interview. Okay. Online job portal. Anyway, you Google it, surely there are a lot of them. And then a reality check. So today, if we also want to look at why should employers be paying us? So recently you see, a lot of job salary increment. Then the question is, hey, where's my share? Then, but the reality check is, do I work enough so that the employers or the market pay me what I deserve? So this is always a reality question, right? So you remember I shared with you the trajectory. The growth, the cost of living is increasing, but some of us, the career, our pay don't change. So what is the gap that can be compensated? Is it because my boss damn lousy, cannot pay me enough? Or is it because I don't have the skills, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the technical expertise to help my company grow? And of course, if my company don't make that profit, how can the company pay me? Okay, so I think it's not to be taken for granted that automatically we assume pay increment since the newspaper announced that means we must have it. Unfortunately, the world doesn't work that way. And so if I could ask you to just try to rank what employers are looking at, some people tell me, hey, no brainer. Of course, employers want to look for experience, somebody come in, plug and play. True, to a certain extent. Personally, I have coached more, I didn't coach them, sorry. Personally, I have overseen about 1,200 mid-career individuals who have come to us. They are under the SU United scheme. They are trying to transit, come in, be trained, and to be placed. So we have seen CVs, we have seen job description, we have talked to employers, and I found out really something besides the networking part. How then the employers can see whether this person has good attitude or no good attitude is really through someone telling them. We can't really see it from LinkedIn. You can't really see it from the CV, right? And then the employers will also be saying that, hey, this guy has experience or not. Most of us don't have because we transit out of the space, right? We might have experience from previous role. Our network is on the previous role, but if we bring into the new area, what can we offer? We can offer new skills. That's confirmed. Today, if you know RPA, you're already one level up compared to another candidate who doesn't have the RPA skill. Today, if you know some digital marketing and the company need you, surely you will be more marketable and more high, as in like the employees will look at you differently. And if you want to command more pay, certainly the employers doesn't mind, right? Because rather than give this money to a consultant to do that piece of job, they will give it to you because you can help them. Yeah, so I just want to bring to your attention here, this is a survey, it's done by MOM. More employers are accessing job applicants not just based on academic qualification. Today, as I shared, the degree have an expiry date. So if you want to throw it away anytime, it's really anytime. Today, if you know somebody who has studied IT, 3 years ago, they have done some skill set, right? Maybe they're still in the HTML or even things like that. Today, they are talking about Python maybe. And if they are not upskilled, probably even IT, they will not command that kind of pay. Okay, next. And I wanted to encourage you to speak to a career coach. SP, we have them. If you are want to make an appointment, do check out the SP website. Our career advisors and our education and career guidance counselors, they are available. And the most important thing is you don't need to pay for them. Just need your time so they can understand you a little bit better to help you scale what is the next milestone that you would like to achieve and do some evaluation there. And it's very important because it's like driving a car. You will need to know where your destination is. And it will be even helpful if, let's say, there's a GPS to guide you, right? And if this GPS can talk to you and help you design the pathway of what you need to do next, wouldn't that be better? And you bring you to the destination a little bit earlier. Next, I'm going to show you the solution, some of the possible things that you would like to consider, because SP, we also have a lot of programs. Skills Future, I don't want to dive in too much into it. Skills Future, if you have been listening to the news of what the government is trying to do, regardless of your starting point, at any stage of your life, if you just want to do a course to upgrade, we have funds for you, we have programs for you. And this is what we need to do to make sure that our workforce in Singapore is still very ready and is capable enough to handle any kind of changes that's happening around us. Yeah. So in fact, when we are upgrading, we are also doing our nation a service. So it's a very high calling. It's not just an individual thing. Really, we are helping our country to grow. I'm going to share with you this thing called Work Study Program. I'm sure you have heard about it, but I'm just going to tell you a little bit more, the very quick one. There are 3 kinds of structure. Just need to take a look at specialist diploma, advanced diploma, because I believe most of us here are graduates from our diploma program or graduating soon. So then you ask me, hey, what's the difference? Specialist dip, advanced dip. Actually, the difference is specialist dip is 12 months, advanced dip is 18 months. What is work study program then? So you have to go to a company to work. You'll be a full-time employee there. There will be a structured OJT for you because the company is committed to your development. They will work out one OJT, they call on-job training blueprint with us, and it's guided by SP lecturer. So to make sure that when you're on job, it's just not totally no learning. So you'll learn 2 things. You'll learn in the workplace. At the same time, you'll come back in the evenings or some of the courses they design the weekday to excuse me, my daughter is saying something. So this is the time where they come back for class, and then okay, then I'll go on the next slide. So who is it for? If you're Singaporean and PR, we welcome you. Unfortunately, for it is not available for non-Singaporeans and PR. You have to be a full-time graduate from the Polytechnic of no more than 5 years. Down here is 36 months, right? But if a graduate for no more than 5 years, you are able to come on board. Why we put that 36 months? Because if you come on to this program, if you're Singaporean, you're given a $5,000 sign-on incentives. And you need to be hired and sponsored by a company. And then what do you get? What will you get? When you apply, we'll help you to job match. And we have very, very good company who are committed to bring you on board, not just to cover one headcount for them. They are totally really interested to invest in you and progress with you for your career, because it's a win-win. Because if they have somebody willing to come on board. They're investing in you, train you, and then this certainly is a win-win situation for you and for the company, right? You draw competitive market rate salary. So that means not just the 5,000, you will get also the market salary. You will also get your course sponsored. The company will pay for you. $0 cost to you. Structured OJT, I mentioned to you already. Guided company mentor. So in all programs, they must have one mentor, who at least one mentor to guide you throughout. So you're not left alone when you're in the office. You got anything, you can always have somebody who's very senior to consult. The career testing, why I put it the quotation there. We have students graduate with very good GPA, but they don't want to go to the university straight. They say, hey, no, I want to go to the WSP first, because they want to do it like a tester. So we have one PR student, real case. I'm not telling you just because I want to sell the program. We have a food science student. So she finished her diploma with, I think, quite a good grade, the 3.8 type. I think easily, if she apply to the university, she might get in. So financially, of course, she said that, hey, if I go to the university, my parents would have to pay my fee, right? And also not too sure if I want to stay in this program or this course industry for the next milestone. So then maybe I don't want to go to university first. Since WSP has it, it just take about 1.5 years of my life, and I still get my salary, I still get the incentives. Why not? Then I save some money. And then after that, I still can decide whether I want to go to university. And so true enough, she tried, and then she said, hey, this is a good company, I really like the industry, I like what we do. And she's in plant-based business. So now plant-based is very hot. So she said this, she's get excited. She says she's contributing to sustainability. So like big dreams, yes. After that, she got into the company. The company will sponsor her even for a part-time degree in NUS. So totally, she left poly and start making money, and she still progressed very well. Okay, so all these are opportunities for career progression, opportunity for sponsor education is there. And we have programs that is some arrangement with SUSS. If, for example, the digital content marketing one, okay, this like digital content marketing one that we have, if you have taken some module here, is automatically credit exemption. That means in SUSS, you can get a minor from it. Okay, details of it, I will really refer you to the website because I have many programs here. Later on, I will share with you some website. I have one more program to share with you. So then you say, hey, if I'm graduate more than 5 years, how? So we are all covered, like I said, skills future any age. If you have some inclination to upskill, we definitely have something for you. We have this skills future career transition program. It's catered for people like me, maybe I over 40, wow, a bit sian, right? Do this work for so many years. Maybe I want to go to another industry. Hey, sure, man, you're very welcome. However, you may not have the skill set, you may not have the experience yet. So I should go back to school, pick up some skills. That's why maybe you can try really to speak to a coach, because we need to make career, right? You really need to register this thing called transferable skills. And it's really the important one that will at least help us don't lose so much of our salary. Make career transition, the salary package is, I think, it's the most difficult for us to cross. And if you don't mind, you want to go to a new industry with a slightly lower pay so that you can start with the entry. So career transition program is really for you. Take a look at our website. So let's say you want to commit to that, you also come in for our part-time diploma anytime, any program. You don't need to come from the relevant program. That means the diploma doesn't need to match with your post-dip. Can join as we call it the recognition of prior learning. You can come on board, or you can just take up short courses, RPA. Yeah. So now I need to remember RPA is good, and online courses as well. So we have them. So next, before I end this, I just want to share one last thing with you. For the graduates especially, or even if you have friends who have children considering to go for private education. Private education as in going for part-time degree or full-time degree in a private education. So let us compare how much it costs us. If I'm not wrong, average you should be charging us about 10,000-20,000 per year. So if you got to go for a full-time program. Maybe the institution say, oh, within 2 years, you can take your part-time, your private degree from overseas university. So if you work it out, about $40,000. So not forgetting, studying full-time, you cannot earn an income. You know where I'm driving at, right? For WSP, you can still earn an income. And would it guarantee employment? I'm going to show you some real statistics that this private education provider, they need to do every year, and it's mandatory kind of like survey that they need to do. It's like a graduate employment survey. And would they have career progression? That's most important. So this like, if you look to the left, the private education institution, so they need to do the survey, right, every year. I just want to bring your attention to this. 46.4% get full-time employed after they graduate. So not forgetting they pay the school fees, they don't get a monthly income, and then cannot find a job. Less than half of them found a job. And how much are they paid? Median, 2,989. Is it high? Or okay lah, close to 3,000, not so bad, right? But maybe I bring you to the other side now. So a work study program, we also need to do yearly survey. And this is what we get. So this is SP graduate, 74.6% of them stay on to their job. So WSP is almost guaranteed that you're employed, It's just whether you want to stay or don't want to stay. So why do they not stay? Some of our students progress to go university, or they have saved enough. They go and pursue their interest in overseas. They save enough, right? They go overseas to study. So we have very high retention rate. 7 to 8 of them out of 10 stay in the same company and continue working. Not forgetting, they don't have to pay the course fee. They still get the $5,000. They still get monthly salary and guided by the mentor. Yeah, so enough reading. So that's about it. Then we take a look at their pay. 2,641. And this one, how much? Like that. 2,989 minus 2,641. No, this one is a degree. This one is just a post dip. So, mathematically, okay, you can calculate. Can? So I'll leave you with that. And I would like to encourage you, if let's say you want me to speak to you after this, I will have my colleague and myself to call you, scan this QR code. We will understand a little bit more from you what you would like to do. If you need to, then make an appointment with the career coach, and then let's have a discussion. Okay, so if you could scan this, it's just some particulars, then we'll reach out to you after this call. Okay, Q&A, we'll leave it to the last. So I have 2 QR code here. If you are mid-career looking for a transition, please scan the right one. Yeah, it's right? Okay, Skills Future Career Transition Program. If you would like to know a bit more about WSP, scan this on the left. Okay, thank you so much for time. I'll pass the time back to the MC.
Thank you, Mr. Wales, for that wonderful sharing. Now, I can see that some of you have questions to be addressed. There will be a Q&A session at the end, so do keep a lookout for that. I would now like to invite Mr. Lee Ewan, Assistant Manager at the Department of Industry and Partnerships, to share with us about the upcoming Graduate Employment Survey and what to expect from this. Mr. Ewan, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ewan. All polys will be actually conducting this employment survey 2022 very, very soon. And we are pleased to invite you to share your view on your current employment, upgrading status, and also the diploma experience based on the following survey eligibility criteria. So you can see on the right side of the slide, fresh graduates from the class of 2022 who have completed or are not liable for national service, and also those who are just came out from national service from the class of 2019 who have completed NS between 1st April 2021 and 31st March 2022. And last but not least, the whole group of the 5-year polytechnic graduates from the class of 2017. Now, before I share more details about the graduate employment survey, we would like to encourage the fresh graduates and the post-NS graduates who are still pondering between employment and further education to consider joining the workforce first or taking up the study program that was shared by Wills earlier. Now, based on Singapore Yearbook of Manpower Statistics 2022 from the Ministry of Manpower website, the median gross salary for full-time permanent job for polytechnic fresh graduates is about $2,400, while post-NS graduates is 2,614. So matter of fact, poly graduates do command quite a good pay. So now being employed earlier will give you the advantages of not only such a good pay, but also number one, you will be able to gain work experience and better insight into the industry. Number two, having the time to explore and plan your career progression. And number three, allow you to have the time to identify your career development and learning needs. And with all these advantages in mind, you will be able to actually make an informed decision to select your further education programs that will fit your aspirations, interests, and career progression in the industry. And when you complete your further education, then you will be on the competitive edge, armed with both work experience and qualifications. Now, do be uh, do be mindful that your first job would unlikely be your lifelong job. So give yourself a chance to join the workforce first, or take up the work study program. Then take your time to explore your further education opportunities along the way. Now, as we wish to learn from you your views on your current employment and job search situation, I will have just 3 more slides to talk about the coming graduate employment survey. So let me move on to the next slide. Now we have appointed a survey vendor, which is none other than Beacon Consulting Private Limited. So you'll be getting the email or letter from them, and the survey link address and the login instructions will be sent to you via email or letter. And for the email, it will be definitely from this email address, polygs@beacon.com.sg. And when you actually go and click on the survey link, it will actually be routed to a domain beacon.mx. If it's not from this domain, then please do not go further into the survey itself. So do take note of this. Now, the survey start date will be from 3rd October 2022, which is a Monday. And for fresh graduates, you will have, and post-NS graduates, you will take probably 2 months to complete, and the deadline will be on the 28th of November 2022. As for the 5-year graduates from the class of 2017, you will have 3 months, and you will be able to actually complete it by the date 2nd of January 2023. Now, when you go through the survey itself, you only take about 30 minutes most of the time. And not only that, once you complete the survey, you will stand a chance to win attractive prizes as shown on the right side of the slide itself. I do hope that one of you will actually have a chance to actually win the Microsoft Surface Pro as shown at the top right-hand corner. Okay, some other details about the graduate employment survey that I like to highlight here is that when you actually access the survey login webpage, which is the very first page itself, you will probably be actually prompted to actually key in a unique ID. So it will be an 8-character long ID, and it will be provided in the letter or the email that has been sent that will be sent to you to start on the 3rd of October. And do take note, the survey information can also be found from the website shown, https://ges.polytechnic.edu.sg. Now, in any time that you face any problems with the survey, or you have any questions regarding the survey itself, there is a hotline that you could call, which is none other than 68739768. And they will be able to answer your questions from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. Now, you could also send an email, and they will probably respond to you within 3 days. All data collected through the appointed agency Beacon Consulting Private Limited will be kept strictly confidential. Now, let us continue to keep in touch and journey with you beyond graduation. And it's very important that we have your contact details. And to do that, please visit our industry website, which is actually industry.sp.edu.sg, span So you can actually go to this website and scroll down to the section shown on the screen, and click on the update button, and then follow the instructions provided by the web page and update accordingly. So with that contact information, we will be able to actually keep in touch with you and help you with any of the career coaching needs and so on. Okay. Your response is important to us because your feedback will help us to understand the trend and the needs of Polytechnic students, and also to improve the Polytechnic, enhance our curriculum, and you can make a difference for the future students. We have come to the end of the presentation on this GS 2022, and thank you for watching this. Thank you. So I pass this segment over to the MC now.
Thank you, Mr. Ewan. Before we address some of your burning questions, I would like to kindly request for you to scan the QR code on the screen to fill up a short survey and stand to win vouchers from us. The lucky winners will be informed via email by us by the 15th of November 2022. Let us now address some of your questions for our fellow panelists. The first question we have here is, how can one better adapt into the workforce if it is rapidly changing? Mr. Wales, would you like to start?
I just have one word, if you can remember, it's skills future. We just have to be ready. I think we know that the world is changing. There's nothing we can do about it. The only thing we can do about it is get ourselves very prepared and constantly think and review our position. It's like driving a car, for example. If let's say there's a destination and along the way you meet some obstacle, what do we do to it, right? Certainly we'll need to navigate elsewhere. And when we are navigating elsewhere, is a condition of a car still suitable to cross this terrain? Then if this car is our human body or our technical skills and our mindset, and then we will be better, be able to reach our destination by navigating. And of course, mindset for growth is the most important. So maybe my colleague here would like to add a few tips here.
I guess it's always to have a lifelong learning mindset. Yeah, the world is changing. You just have to keep adapting. There's no choice. Yeah, so the earlier you embrace that I have to keep upgrading, then you will be fine. Yeah.
Well, I think it's about being agile. If you want to continue to work, you just have to keep on adapting, and I think that's how human evolve through the years. So yeah, just have to be agile too.
All right, let's move on to the next question. I think this one is specifically for Miss June. Are there series of programs with development pathways provided by SP to help SP graduates of all ages to transform from donkey to stallion?
Ayo, okay. Well, these are exactly all the causes that Will's mentioned earlier on. It's if you ask me, when you come to take on all these specialist courses, it's really about the framework on your skill sets. Predominantly, and the base of it is, I feel, from a HR professional point of view, it is your attitude. It is your whole mindset. It doesn't matter even you have a PhD, if your mindset is incorrect, your purpose is wrong, it will never work. So once you set that correct mindset, your right purpose with the vision, you will be able to move. I wouldn't say transform, but you will move beyond being a donkey. Yeah.
I feel if you really have to have a growth mindset and to really change, I think you shouldn't care about the nitty-gritty, like exactly what is in your KPI that you have to do, what is in your PMP that you have to do. Sometimes you just have to go with what you feel is right, even though things may not be in your KPI, things may not be in your PMP, but there's that opportunity, there is that window, there is that really the aha moment that you know this is the right thing to do. Sometimes just go with that. Yeah, you never know that this thing is something that will really transform you really from a donkey to a stallion. Yeah, so I just want to share, like, for example, when we started our RPA journey, it's not even in my KPI to look at automation. It was never in, I did not even have an RPA goal for 2 to 3 years. I didn't have an RPA goal for many years actually. Yeah, but yet we believe in this, and we believe that there's so much that we can do, and we actually make a very big impact in the industry. But again, I don't have a RPA goal, so it's really not about what you are measured or what's your KPI. But sometimes you just have to just go with a gut feel, know what's right, just be open-minded and just try.
All right, we have a few more questions left. What are the top skills and experiences that are highly sought after, regardless of industry?
I think when I have the opportunity to work with across industry, across hiring applicants, mid-career graduates, really our country is very diversified. We need talents from across. So if to just strictly point to one skills or one experience that's highly sought after, I would say there isn't for one individual. It's meant for many. So today, if there's this skill set to say that, hey, I need a champion in Python programming or software developer, if you look at just by Googling, the top needed job now in the market, right, is software developer. Singapore, we are very lack of it, and we're talking about full stack. But I want to caution you, if just by looking at this being a top and demanding skill, do you want to dive straight into it? Whether do you really like it? Do we really want that kind of lifestyle to sit on a computer and just hard coding all day long? So we have to take a step back to look at what we really want first. So if I could offer a suggestion to the asker is have a conversation with yourself, have a conversation with a coach or mentor, identify some of your strengths and what are your interest area before we decide, which are the top skills and experience, because definitely there will be one job industry, one job sector that will demand for your skills and experience. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, we have one last question here. How does one gauge a suitable salary depending on their current skill set or experience?
Well, this is a very not so straightforward question. I don't know if my colleagues in the panel can also help. So it is very difficult to say, oh, today I went to, Straits Times, they do salary comparison. They say median salary of the income of this age group is like that. Is it really true to the fact that it should be like that? I don't have a definite answer. As our culture is, some country, my friend openly talking about pay. Singapore, no, we are quite reserved on discussing about this topic. So to be very real about getting a statistic of what is the salary benchmark, right? So far, based on what I do, very hard to define. Even a colleague that's sitting next to you, you also won't know how much the other person is being paid. So to answer the question, how do we then think that, hey, this amount will justify what we do? Okay, so help us in the graduate employment survey because it gives you a better idea about what is happening in the market. And please don't underestimate the power of your response, because if you respond, we will get an aggregated data, and all this help in our policy. All this will be presented, at highest level. Or what is the cohort doing? How much is the current cohort? I mean, like what is the industry offering? Is our graduates doing well? So if by your response, right, we could gather all this data and it can help the policy maker to make certain decisions. Okay, so that's a one benchmark. You see that I share with you, right? You will also share with you, right? Some of these numbers. So if let's say you are a fresh graduate about that, then roughly in the industry, that's about the salary. So this is rough, very, very rough back, but really down to the bottom, I do not have an absolute answer.
Okay, I'm going to try to say something that it happened in the industry. So I'm just going to share, okay? Sometimes I feel it's the best person who pitch across the unseen value at the moment to the hiring panel. If you can convince the hiring panel you're worth this amount of money, you will be paid this amount of money. So there is really no gauge. It really is the person who is hiring you. Do they believe in the value you say you will bring on the table or not? If they do, you get that salary. I think it's as simple as that.
I guess for me, I think when you die, the money will not follow you to the after the grave. So I think you also need to see what are their the other intangible benefits that you get even in the job, even things like good colleagues, good bosses. You may not get a very good salary, but all these things also contribute to your happiness in life. I think even are you even contributing back to society? Are you doing things that also benefit others and do good for the world? Then and if your job allows you to do that, then that also really in a way it's also a tangible part of your salary. So don't just look at the absolute number. I guess as long as you have enough for you to I guess to lead a comfortable life, yep, to have enough for your family and to also bless others, then I think you should just be happy lah. Yeah, because you work too hard, you have a very high salary, but you need to go and see a psychiatrist every weekend to let go of all your stress, then it's really not worth it lah. Yeah, so I think
Or all your
money
hair drop out.
I want to drop out lah. So money is not everything lah. Yeah, so as long as you're happy, I think that's important.
Alright, we've come to the end of the Q&A session. I would like to thank our panelists and attendees for their time today. We hope you were able to benefit from the session. Do take note that we have 2 more upcoming webinars. You can sign up for the subsequent webinar through the links over here. Once again, thank you for your time, and my name is Shafika, and it was a pleasure to be your MC for today.